Why take the risk, especially if you don't need to? So just got off the horn with this couple out of Colorado who are just crushing. It's just, oh man, it's funny actually because she was like, they're getting killed in taxes while they're working. I said, yeah, but wait till you retire. You're going to be pleasantly surprised, almost to the point of disbelief how little taxes you have to pay once you're basically taking your basic, 20 to 30,000 from your IRA and then living off the rest Social Security. And she's even subject to WEP and then GPO too. And I was like, you guys, you just watch. Anyway, so very little taxes, 3% effective tax rate. Yeah, it's fantastic. Anyway, so my man's got about 30% stocks, 70% cash and bonds. All right. And I'm showing you so this is what we're looking at here. So here's his current allocation. You can see 30% US equities, 30% bonds, and 40% cash. I'm giving him an effective or expected rate of return of 4.1. Now, this right here is our target allocation. Like I always tell everybody, it's got nothing to do with them specifically. I just say we need to get a higher rate of return, we can give you a higher rate of return. We can go from 4.1 to 5.3. But notice we're increasing basically our downside risk. Standard deviation is just essentially downside risk. It's not just downside, but that's what everyone is it's what we use to describe risk is standard deviation. Is 5.6 to 10.2. And let me just tell you how this works here. So we take our 4.1 as our expected rate of return. I was going to say it's 4. And 5.6 is our standard deviation. So we're going to times 5.6 times 3. All right, so we're going to do 5.6 times 3. That's a 16.8. All right, so what we do is we take 16.8 and we plus minus that around our expected rate of return. So in this case, we'd have a 12.8. Our worst down year for this portfolio would be 12.8%, which is ironically exactly what happened in 2008 for Wellesley Fund, 12.8. And if you factor in inflation, 2008 was the worst market year we've ever had. All right. So what we're doing here is we're saying, make that a little bit bigger. So we're saying, all right, so we got negative, well, just for simplicity, a negative 13% downside risk here, but we're only getting 4.1. On the other hand, we can increase our rate of return to 5.3, but in this case, we'd basically have a downside risk of 25% on any given year. Ironically, that's almost exactly what happened in 2008 for Wellington. All right, so we're saying we can increase our rate of return from 4.1 to 5.3, but we're doubling our downside risk. That's literally what it works. And you say, so what? Why? Why would we do that? All right, hang tight. Maybe we would do it because we want to leave more money. Maybe we would do it because we like stocks. Maybe we would do it because we're worried that we're going to run out of money by Susie Orman. Maybe we would do it for a whole slew of reasons. But let's just see what happens at the end game here. This is our current plan with a 4.1, 95% probability of success. Here's our plan with a 5.3, 92% probability of success. So we dropped our probability of success from 95 to 92, but notice we're leaving 120,000, about 110,000 more downstream because the volatility is higher here. So the volatility is higher, but the upside is higher as well. Downside is higher, upside is higher. Is it worth it? And maybe in a couple of years, but right when you retire, is it worth it? Oh man, it's not worth it right when you retire. I mean, this guy's getting ready to retire for the first time in his life. It's just like, go freaking have fun. You can always revisit in a couple of years. But man, why put yourself through the grinder of like, oh, don't take the risk if you don't need it. I mean, you can do whatever you want. I don't care. People say, oh, but inflation. I get all that. All that is factored into this right here. Inflation, the whole thing is factored into this, man. 5.5% increase on Medicare, on all healthcare. Only 2.4% cost of living adjustment for Social Security. And for her, because she's affected by WEP and GPO, I'm not even giving her any spousal benefit and a very small slither of a GPO, a government pension offset, when her husband dies. And most likely she'll die before the husband anyway. Why take the risk if you don't need? I don't get it, man. Now, again, you could. Don't you remember what happened in 2008? It was bad. Let's avoid that, especially right when we retire. We can be more aggressive later when our days of traveling are behind us. But the first couple of years, man, keep it simple, keep it stupid, so you can go night-night and sleep well. All right, God bless. Love to hear your thoughts.